All right. Well, Paul, we're back for another edition of Cash and Tickets after the the big day, the big night, I guess you could say, at Stone Pony last week. A lot of fun shooting at Stone Pony, and then going it into the trivia, doing the trivia last week for
Good time.
Stone Pony. So a lot of good times. We're had by all. So anyway, here we are, December the 7th, recording this. New edition of Cash and Tickets. I'm Franklin. That's Paul. You can catch us on Twitter at Poolside Bets and on the YouTube Poolside Bet No S. Remember, like and subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications. So we are now done with the college football season. It's over. We're through championship week, and
We made it through a whole year of
yeah, well, I mean we did it every
cash
week.
and tickets.
Yeah, and we did cash. I think I only had 2 weekends where I actually didn't have a ticket to cash, so that's pretty good. Not too bad there. And I think I got to do some research because I had my initial laptop that I had doing this was stolen, and I lost all of my research from the first podcast we did. I got to go back and listen to them and see what we did previous, but uh, we both nailed the Pac-12 championship. I think we both had Utah.
Yeah, I think I had Utah and then Clemson, but I did not get any of the rest of them.
I did not have Clemson. I had NC State. Great year by the North Carolina Tar Heels and that quarterback Drake May. A lot of fun there watching those boys play. They didn't help me out in the last game there in the championship game, but he was still a lot of fun. We totally missed on the Big 12. The only thing I hit there were two season totals. Had the Texas under cash, and I had the I had the Kansas over, which
Yeah,
I think you're sick of hearing me talk about the Jayhawks there.
I hate they petered out at the end of the year. I just want to see them make a run.
I know. It was been a little more fun. They could keep winning, but they lost their quarterback. It's a little difficult. I think teams must have caught up to them there a little bit. Boy, talk about a whiff. We definitely whiffed on the Big Ten. I don't know what they call that division where Wisconsin and Iowa and
Didn't have Michigan nowhere to be found.
didn't have Michigan in the other side of it. I think I had Minnesota and Ohio State making the big game, and it was Michigan and Iowa. So big miss there. I think we both had Alabama, Georgia in the championship game of the SEC. Georgia winning it, so pretty sure we nailed that one. We didn't have LSU in it. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I had Wisconsin in the Big Ten, and not
Yeah, you
only
did.
did they.
And I had Minnesota. So you're very popular tonight.
Oh my
Paul.
god. I don't know what to do with this.
It's all good.
Anyways, yeah, not only did Wisconsin not do well in the betting world, they fired their coach.
Yeah, they did.
So,
They made a great
wasn't
hire,
good.
though. We'll get to that in a little. So, anyway, like I said, we're not going to do anything bowl. I know the bowls have all been announced. We know the dates. We know the teams. But look, those games are so hard to predict because you got to wait for opt-outs. I mean, we've already seen one of the big-time wide receivers for Ohio State is opted out, and they're in a playoff game, and the kid's not going to play. I mean, I don't know what that says about his character moving forward that you won't even play. And I get it, opting out of the lower bowls because they don't really mean anything other than the kids go and get swag and get an extra game. I mean, whatever. But man, playoff game, and he's opting out. I didn't think I would see that, but here we are. In the days of NIL and moving to the NFL, I guess that's where we are.
Yeah, it's all about the future, I guess. I don't know.
So
but
we-
I mean, if you got the NFL draft guys have got to be looking at that as
That's got to be a knock on him, right? To not
has to
playing
be.
that game. I mean, come on. Was it if he gets drafted and their team is not playing to go to the playoffs? Is he going to start opting out of his?
Nah,
I mean, you can't. I mean,
Yeah, I don't-
you're tied into a contract there.
I don't like it.
I just want to let's just bring up the college football playoff. I think they got it right. I don't think they had any other way to go. I couldn't see after the game between TCU and K State. You talking about two teams that just lay it all on the line, especially that quarterback for TCU. I mean, he literally left his blood, guts, and tears on that field that day. I mean, great performance by that kid. I know he's got no shot to win the Heisman, but if I had a vote, I would just off of that game, I would have voted for that kid. Loved watching him play all year.
Yeah, that guy from Kansas State, I think he's a true redshirt freshman.
Yeah, I mean, and he's young.
And he's got a future ahead of him. He's like 6'5", 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
He'd sling it
and he was
from here
confident.
to the moon.
He was confident all day long. That was a great game to watch. So yeah, I get keeping TCU at 3, kind of what I thought. And Ohio State, you had to move them up. They only had the one loss, and it was to Michigan. And all these people talking about Alabama and anybody else back there. I mean,
Alabama.
I didn't see any of that. Even though we root for a team that plays in the SEC, but I'm not one of those SEC. Put the best 4 teams in. I don't know that Ohio State's one of the best 4 teams, but
it's gonna it'll be fun. I mean, it's like a little different blood in there this year, so it'll be fun.
The only thing I would have done, honestly, if Tennessee still had Hendon Hooker, I'd have loved to see Tennessee in that thing because that kid can ball.
Yep.
And him not making it to New York City, I think, and Stetson Bennett making it, I don't. But hey, obviously we don't have Heisman votes, but that's just kind of my thoughts. And we're just kind of, I'm just trying to, I'm just kind of touching on topics that I think I don't mind the other 3 candidates there, and I like the college football playoff, the 4 teams. I don't think you had any other way to go there. Paul, do you have any thoughts on the 4 teams that made it, or would you have gone a different way? Or
no, I don't. I just don't know who's going to beat Georgia.
Outside of that, I'm actually interested in the Michigan TCU game. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah,
it's the best defense TCU I've seen all year, but I don't know if Michigan has seen a combination of the QB and the wide receiver there for TCU that they're going to see.
I know I wasn't very happy with the coaching at TCU Saturday morning.
I was just going to say, last week we didn't do literally every game but that one hit the over, I believe, in the championship game. I mean, we talked about it. The over was the way to go.
We got the only one that didn't make
we
it.
had the only one that didn't get there and had a chance. I mean, just kick the field goal and the other team, you cover. Why go for it on 4th down? I mean, I like the ballsiness of it, but
I ain't like none of it.
And he scored, by the way.
Touchdown.
He was they didn't even review it that long, but he crossed the plane in my eye. After you kept talking about it, I looked again, and I think he got over.
Yeah, they knew old gambling PJ had a little something
on us, and we're not letting this happen today.
This dude, he's too much.
So we've got to pivot. So we got to move to something we haven't talked about all year. I think we sprinkled in some last week, a little bit of NFL, but obviously we follow it, and this has been more of a college football centric podcast. So we got to move somewhere else. We're not going to talk about bowls right now. It's not. Maybe during each week we'll talk about the games coming up that week or that weekend, because you got to have more information. You got to watch the opt outs. You got to watch who's going to play, who's motivated.
No.
I just want to bring up the New Year's Six bowls. We've talked about the 4 playoff teams. But your other bowl games there, the Sugar with Bama and K-State, who's going to play for Bama?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot
and
of
K-State, they're going to be fired up to play that game. I can't wait to see the line because I'm probably jumping all over K-State there. USC Tulane, hey, way to go Green Wave. After the year they had last year, Willie Fritz got those boys back playing. Big win over Central Florida last weekend in the championship game. I like Tulane. They're a fun team to watch.
Their defense is better than you don't even pay attention to it.
And we know whose defense is not. The Trojans. No. That was an abomination of tackling against Utah last week. Yeah. Speaking of Utah, they get Penn State. I don't know if Penn State can match Utah's toughness, and Utah will be great. They'll love to play in the Rose Bowl. They'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you got the Orange Bowl, Tennessee and Clemson. You just hate to not have Hendon Hooker in that game. And here's the other bad side for Tennessee. Clemson, Dabo Swinney has lucked into the best quarterback on that team. He finally played him last week.
He's
and
had
now,
him all year.
And now DJ is leaving, so he's not going to play. So he's lucked into the best quarterback on the team, and so they probably maybe motivated to play. That ought to be a good game there between, because Tennessee doesn't have much of a defense, and they don't have Hendon Hooker. So
Yeah, what's the over-under there?
yeah, look for that.
64, it's probably going to hit 87.
It'll probably be way up. We probably won't be doing that podcast till when? After Christmas, I'm guessing.
Talking about the bowl one?
Yeah, talk about those games, the New Year's Six
Yeah,
bowl.
I
So.
don't- the bowl. I mean, we can talk about them, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be many bets made. Not like, I mean, they throw like a parlay or something. We'll do a bowl pick'em sheet we do every year, and just amongst friends. But there's too much unknown. You don't know who's playing or who cares. You don't know.
You got to wait to bet those games
You don't
right
know.
up till game time, because you got to know the opt-outs. And then just here's the biggest thing. Think about which team you think is happy to be in a bowl and which team you think is upset about the bowl that they're in. And you can pick winners or spread that way easily. Like Bama's going to be favored over K-State. Give me the points. I'm probably right now. Just give me the points.
Yeah.
Before we get into any NFL talk, something I wanted to bring up, Paul, and I'll let you bring up your next deal. I wrote down some. I think we touched on a few of these last time, but I got coaching changes here. I think we maybe talked about Hugh Freeze going to Auburn, and we talked about Fickle going to Wisconsin and Rule to Nebraska. But the late stuff, prime time, Deion going to Colorado. Did you hear any of that talk about what Colorado said about paying Deion?
That's $5 million a year.
Did you not hear their stipulation on that?
No,
They don't have the money.
Oh, that's interesting.
They said we don't have it right now. And how do
Well, that's some Jackson State shit.
I mean, they literally said we don't have the money right now, but we're gonna get it.
But you're gonna earn it for us.
I mean, golly. I mean, and
No, I ain't heard that.
that is tough situation to go in. I mean, I get it. He wanted to jump into, D1 coach. I mean,
He'll do well there.
jump
though.
up, and he's in the Power 5 now because Colorado's in what, Pac-12.
And they'll give him all the time. I mean, it's not jumping into
Are
a
you
hot.
sure college football doesn't give time any?
Colorado will, because they have been terrible.
They've been bad.
He goes out there and wins 5 games next year. They'll build a statue.
Oh hell, they go 1-11 this
Yeah,
year.
they'll build a statue of him out front. He'll do good too.
I think I saw today maybe on something that the Travis Hunter kid that he is gonna follow Deion to Colorado.
Yeah, you watched the speech he gave to the Colorado.
Boy,
Y'all might well
that's
be.
tough,
Y'all might
right?
well just
You
go-
got to have players. You got to have back. You got to have special teams. And
Yeah, but I think his point was what you've been doing is not going to work here.
Gonna work here.
Either you're going to get on board or you need.
You know what? I don't hate it. As I think about it, I don't hate it. If you can't play, you can't play. You can't just.
Well, my old boss used to say, "Catch the vision or catch the bus."
Okay, there you go. This is kind of one that I don't know if I'm surprised because they got more money. Obviously, he can make a lot more money, and Hugh Freeze parlayed it into the Auburn job. But Jamie Chadwell leaves Coastal Carolina to take the Liberty Flames job. I'm sure he's getting 2 or 3 extra million. Yeah. I imagine it's probably going to pay him $4 million to coach that team.
That team's probably in pretty good shape too.
And they've got money. I mean, they can go out there and get some. So Jamie Chadwell leaving Coastal.
Do you think they sent? Do you think Liberty sent Auburn a thank you letter
for taking Hugh Freeze off their hands?
Because I heard there's some stuff he's leaving behind baggage.
You talk about a team that laid down.
Yeah, he's leaving. But he's leaving baggage at Liberty too. There's some fishy stuff going on.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's all coming out. What else we got? This was Satterfield at Louisville, who's done nothing, is taking the. What is Cincinnati doing? They can do better than that. I know Louisville probably doesn't have the resources. We both, you and I think, 3 or 4 years ago, we thought Satterfield was going to do a great job there at Louisville. We liked him, but he hadn't gotten it done. And Cincinnati's a good program. I mean, Fickle has shown that.
Jeff Brom, he'll be all right at Louisville too. Or didn't he?
Yeah. Now here's one that's just really
he's going
bad.
back home.
The offensive coordinator at North Carolina is taking the Coastal job, and this just breaks my heart.
Is that Phil Longo?
No, the North Carolina State offensive coordinator. His name is Tim Beck.
Yeah.
He's had a terrible offense everywhere he's been.
Not good.
I mean, he was in the bottom of the pack at North Carolina State.
Chanticleers or no?
He was
be Chanticleer
before that. He was, I think, at Texas. He was over in the Big 12 at Texas, and they were in the bottom of the league in offense. Going to a team that's had a really good offense at Coastal. Grace McCall's probably gone, but man, I hate to see that. Coastal's going to be no longer on the bet list, probably, with Tim Beck over there as the head coach.
I remember. Why do I associate with him with Minnesota?
Tim Beck?
No, it's Brewster. It's Brewster.
Oh, Brewster.
All right. No. Moving on.
Former NFL quarterback Trent Dilfer takes the UAB job. He's gotten a lot of buzz over things he's been doing at the high school he was at, and a lot of stuff he does with the.
He's a game manager.
What does he do with? It was some. He does something with all the high school quarterbacks. They go to the Elite 12. Some
Manning Academy.
No, not the he. Like there's this recruiting deal. All the quarterbacks as they go on through the year.
The Elite 11.
The Elite 11.
Yeah.
He's been kind of running that deal, and then he got this high school coaching job. I think, and now he's going to UAB to take over the UAB Blazers program there. So good luck to Trent Dilfer. Only one I got is he was a former head coach before. It didn't work at Missouri, but hell of a defensive coordinator. Barry Odom's leaving Arkansas to take the UNLV job. I guess he just wants to be a head coach again.
There's a lot of money in that university. I mean, it's not like they want that school to be good.
Got to get Jerry Tarkanian back. That's a different sport.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't end well. Shark back, baby.
That didn't end well.
So that's kind of on college football. It's kind of the notes I had. Paul, what do you? You had some things that you wanted to talk about.
I got all sorts of stuff to talk about. I'll just go over. I put out the TCU Kansas over 61. Yeah, all they got to do is play football. We cover that. They didn't, so we didn't. I put out North Carolina plus 7.5. They got shellacked.
Bad.
Michigan, Purdue over 51.5. That got there. So that's the only one I got. My 3 NFL picks were Steelers to pick them. They won.
Yep.
Raiders, Chargers over 51. I only got to 47. And then the Ravens, Broncos under 38.5.
Boy, how easy was that?
That's pretty. I mean, the Broncos are 11-1 to the under this year.
That defense is elite, man.
I'm on them again. I'm on them again this week.
I was kind of with you too. I didn't quite write it down because I just don't know if KC can break through that. I mean, they could win it 30-10, but still, that's still a cover if it's 30-10. But can the Broncos score 10 on the Chiefs? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I did want to talk a little bit about World Cup.
Let's talk about it. Boy, what a letdown last Saturday morning.
Well, that's not I mean, we watched the game together, and it's not. I mean, I've watched them. I'm not a lifetime World Cup men's national team. I started when the World Cup was in Germany, and the team that played Saturday morning would beat the shit out of the. They didn't.
The Landon Donovan team.
They went out there and tried to win.
They did.
Now they had 2 letdowns. Mm-hmm. That killed them.
The second goal and the third goal, both.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was bad. They got let down. But they were fun to watch, and I enjoyed watching it.
Hey, I told you from the beginning, I love their pace of play. I love how they move the ball down the field. They get it, they possess it, and they look for chances. How many times back then, like you're talking about, did we never even? We were just hoping for a counter.
No,
that's all we ever hoped for was for a counter.
Hunkered down and countered.
Yeah,
we got to clean up. We got to clean up our corners. That shit's atrocious.
No, our set pieces are not good.
And then we're probably the second or third youngest team in the World Cup this year.
No, we were the youngest team.
The future is
bright.
Is if they can keep their heads on and straight and do what they it's going to be good.
I guarantee you, Christian will be back to play in 4 years. He's not that old. I mean, he'll be fine. Timothy Weah, I'm pretty sure he'll be back. And Aronson, Musa had he turned 20 during this World Cup, and he had a great World Cup. Robinson and Adams, kids I mentioned to you, playing the midfield and little deep. I mean, they're really good. Zimmerman he was the guy you kept calling out his number. He had a couple of breakdowns there. Like
He had a bad day.
Yeah, it wasn't a great day.
They should have had a V8.
There wasn't that much communication. It didn't. Every time they scored, everybody's looking at each other. It wasn't one of those deals where somebody just makes a great play. Every time they scored, our defense is looking at each other like, why didn't you, you know what I mean? Why didn't you tell me? Or what
I don't.
Just wasn't great communication
The goals
there.
were the same type of goals.
All three, yeah. They sent a cross in and boom. I mean, the guy was wide open.
The guy came trailing in the back. Once everybody got settled in, they just ran up in there, kicked it in there.
Yeah. I mean, the goal was great. The goal we scored was fantastic. And we had, how many, we could have scored 4 goals.
No, we beat them in every aspect but the score.
I mean, they played a really, really good team, and they showed what. Even in a 3-1 score, I thought they showed well.
Yeah, they tried to go in. And another thing too, that goalie we have is elite.
And I don't know if this was
even though he gave up 3 goals, but I'm telling that dude.
No, he's got moved. Yeah, I mean, he had on those 3 goals. There's nothing he could do.
No.
I mean, he was caught in no man's land.
Yeah.
Speaking of goalies, I don't know if you know this, Paul. And I don't think it was mentioned on the broadcast.
Of course I don't.
But the Netherlands goalkeeper is 6'8". I don't know if that was.
Fuck. Yeah.
I don't know if that was brought up.
Yeah, there's a guy named Memphis on the team,
and Memphis,
but it's not his first name.
It is his first name. He just puts it on the back of the jersey instead of his last name. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. But it's his middle name or something. It's not. He just wants to be Memphis on the back of the jersey instead of Dupay or Dupas.
Yeah. At least it wasn't Gary Danielson. But I want to go over the moving forward.
We got down to 8 teams now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're down to 8. I was gonna go through these odds real quick. I want to talk about them kind of.
Okay.
Brazil right now is 9-5, so that gives you almost 2-1.
Who's gonna beat them?
I don't know. The defending champs are still alive too.
Dude, they're good. They're so good.
Yeah, France is 4-1. They have a huge game against England coming up.
Yes, they do.
They're the defending champs. Argentina's 11-2, which is it's a little over.
I mean, you got Messi, got a shot.
5-1, a little over 5-1. England 6-1. Like I said, they got their World Series. And I did a little research on one because they kept calling them 3 lines. I didn't understand it, so there's a lot of history behind the 3 lines and why they call them England. But I don't have time to go through it right now. Maybe
super aggressive team though. If France catches them, France can score some easy goals like the Dutch did against the U.S. because England is super aggressive.
Yeah, Portugal at 6-1. A lot of drama around Portugal because of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, getting in like with the coach or something going on. He got benched the last game.
Well, they offered a Saudi team offered him $200 million a year.
How do you not? It's $200 million
a year.
Come on, he's still going to play for Portugal. It's not like he's not going to play for the national team.
In that league that they're wanting to put him in, he'll score 5 or 6 goals a game.
A game, yeah, it'll be stupid.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Netherlands are 14-1. They've got to play better.
They did not. I mean, they got some easy goals, but we just had the breakdowns.
Yeah, Argentina won't do the minimal mistakes that the U.S. did.
No.
Croatia's 35-1. Morocco 35. How about Morocco getting in there?
Way to go, Morocco.
Yeah, beating Germany they beat Spain in penalty kicks, and then Switzerland 60-1.
I
ain't got none of this.
I don't think Swiss can get there.
If you got 2 TVs.
Put it on there.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch.
Yeah, put one on game.
You've got to watch, but you've got to watch the whole. Don't just wait and watch for the goals to be scored. You got to watch how even the simple stuff when they make little touches to move it to the next guy to move it up, and the small little touches they make to move it to the passes. I will say this: the passing of the Dutch is you could tell the difference. Yeah. It's elite. And
the United States has gotten light years better than they were.
Oh, we're much better.
Yeah.
We used to give up turnovers constantly. Yeah, our touches and our passes are much better. But when compared to what the rest of the world's doing, and that's the difference. It's the passing. It's it's how you move it around and get around guys. And it's just. Well, I think the experience that these young guys got this year is invaluable. I mean, they'll be ready, and
they'll go back overseas. And
you don't have to qualify for the next one. I mean, because we're going to be in it automatically.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'd have any problem qualifying. They're a really good group of guys.
But if you want to go out there and get you a bet in there, and
Who you think outside of Brazil? I mean, they're 9-5. I mean,
but they're still 2-1.
That's true.
I mean,
well, not quite 2-1, but I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, so
I don't see who's beating them.
well, I mean, there's, I don't know. You still got to beat France is the champ. You still got to beat them.
That's true.
There's 4-1 there.
They got a tough one with England though. England is so aggressive. You gotta be strong defensively. They're really aggressive.
Portugal's not going to win it.
No, Morocco.
I would go get me an England ticket, and probably I might do that because
If I'm gonna get 2 tickets. I'm gonna get one for Brazil and then I'm gonna go pick another team that's got 6-1 or better odds.
or they do one of those world parlays. Do like say throw Brazil in there with so and so to win the Super Bowl and so to win the World Series.
Yeah,
and so to win the NBA
Yeah.
championship.
Boy, you just said Super Bowl. I don't.
I got stats on that.
There's a lot of teams. Yeah. So I gotta go take this call real quick. But go ahead.
No, so one thing I want to do too, as we're moving past like college football and all that, and the bowl season's great, but don't bet a lot of money on these bowl games because you just don't know. Maybe a lot of overs hit, but just don't do it. During the college football year, I like to use Vegas Insider and then Action and then some other sites to get money, see where the money's going, all that. We talked about that before. You can do the same thing in college basketball. But there's also a site called Ken Pomeroy, and his ratings, and a lot of the big name guys use that. And it's basically just his own power ratings, but he's really dialed into what's going on in the mid majors and the lesser known schools. So if you go and you get on his site, it's free. But I mean, you could pay for extra stuff, but just to see his ratings will kind of give you a idea of the mid major schools, where they are in the pecking order. You know, everybody kind of knows about the SEC around here or whatever, and then the big schools, but when you start talking about the Siennas and the Cleveland States and
Wright State
and all that,
St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, so I'd like to go on his site and just look at his ratings, especially now, and then see what these mid majors are doing, because I'm telling you, in March, it's gonna pay off.
It does. Look, and he's not. Look, Ken Palm is really, really good. Like I heard him bring that up. I love looking at his numbers. Like Paul said,
It's a lot.
It's a lot into it, but what he puts into, I mean, I can't imagine how he puts that all together. But it really does help. You can tell the strength of a team. Like you may look at 2 teams playing each other, and you look at a big Power 5 program, right? So you take a Power 5 program, and they're playing a Group of 5 program that you never heard of, and the line is 12. You're like, well, they're going to beat the hell out of that team. You'll look at Ken Palm, and they're separated by what, 3 or 4 ranking points?
Yeah, the team will be higher.
Or the team will be higher. Yeah.
I like to go, like, especially in March Madness starts and they get the brackets. I like to go through there and by the seed, I like to put the Ken Palm rankings.
And
that'll tell you a lot.
We would love to talk about college basketball. We always spend at least a weekend at the nearest casino checking out the basketball when it gets to the tournament. But like if we wanted to talk about basketball for this weekend, there's not even lines out for Saturday's game.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get.
We would have to do this podcast every single day, and we hope that at some point we'll get to that where we can do that every single day. But that's why we don't talk about basketball nearly as much, because you got to watch the lines. You got to watch it, and it's hard to know who's playing, who's not playing in college basketball, because they don't release like injury stuff, unless you just know somebody's out.
But this is kind of like I was saying there in football season. So we're using Vegas Insider. We're using all to see where the money's going. All that you can use the same thing, but you also can use the Ken Pomeroy ratings. So it's the same stuff. Use the content. Don't just go out there and Google, hey, what college basketball team's going to cover today, and then go hit the bet button, because that is not going to work for you.
And don't think that we just say, well, they're just looking at these one numbers, and they're not really making their own picks. We look at everything. Like we look at teams that we like at home. There's teams that we like on the road. There's mid majors that we like, even if the Ken Pom numbers don't add up. Sometimes there's just a team I know that's really good at home, and they're a mid major team. Case in point, Siena tonight is playing Georgetown. Georgetown is one of the bigger. They haven't been great, I get it, but if you just saw the team name Siena, you wouldn't think anything about it. Georgetown 4-5 on the season. They finally won some games this year. They were a 5.5 point favorite.
It's tied up right now.
It's 48 all right in the second half.
We talked. Ben, I texted him earlier about Old Dominion. There's no reason for you to be talking about Old Dominion, but when you start looking through these things, you find gaps or whatever.
Because the team they're playing, Old Dominion, is hosting a team that's awful on the road.
Yeah, and it's only a 2-point game, so hope you have a better second half.
They're gonna have to have a much better second half.
But yeah, have a rhyme and reason for why you bet. Don't just
That's right.
Don't just do it because you're. Whatever.
And don't just listen to us. We're just telling you the games we like. And we like to talk about it. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. What you got? What else you got there, Paul?
Let me go back to my little notepad here. Went through that. Went through the World Cup.
Do you want to just jump into NFL football and just have some discussion on the NFL?
Yeah, I was going to go through. I got 6 teams I want to talk about briefly.
Okay.
That I think that
just the teams, not games. Let's talk about some teams.
Because these are because I was looking at the future odds.
Okay, let's talk about
for Super Bowl. Philadelphia right now is 11-1 on the year. They're 5-1 to win the Super Bowl. I don't know that team's going to be in the Super Bowl. Like I just don't.
Okay, let me ask you this, since you bring them up, they're a big question. They're a question mark in my book. Are they that good? Or have they not really just been tested? I mean, Tennessee's good, but Tennessee's not great on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
But man, Philly, give it up to Jalen Hurts. I didn't think he was going to be the guy. I'll admit, I didn't think he was going to be the guy. But man, they go out and get the kid Devontae Smith, and then they bring in AJ Brown, who's an absolute beast, and he showed that this weekend. Of course, that was playing against his former team. And he wanted to show out, and he did. I mean, you got to go out there and do it, and boy, did he do it. I don't know. I mean, their defense is solid. I guess I wouldn't say they're elite, but they're solid.
I guess kind of what I was trying to figure out when I was looking at this is so you're 5-1, 5-1 for the. I don't care if they're 11-1. That's a low number for me for the Eagles.
Yeah,
I don't think I would bet them at 5-1 now. If they dump a couple games late and that thing gets up to 10-1 or something like that, then yeah. But right now, no.
Yeah, seems like
now. Minnesota is 10-2 on the year.
Nope.
18-1. 18-1 to win it.
They're an out for me because I've seen them crap the bed in the playoffs too many times.
Kirk Cousins.
They've tried to give away they should have lost to the Jets. If my boy Robert Saleh coaches the better game, the Jets beat the Vikings at home last weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their big game against Buffalo, and I get it, but yeah, I'm out on the Vikings as far as the Super Bowl is concerned. I just don't think. Now they got one dominant player, and that's Justin Jefferson, and I love to watch him play. He's a top 3 receiver in my book, but I just don't think it's all around team. And it's still Kirk Cousins. He's going to throw it to somebody.
But okay, so
not in purple.
So this is what I was looking at though. So I can either go bet $25 to win the Super Bowl on a 5-1, 11-1 Eagles team, or $25 on a 10-2, 18-1 Minnesota team. I would take the Vikings. 20.
I get the odds.
Yeah.
But I think the Eagles have a better chance of winning it
I think they're the same
than
team.
the Vikings. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, that's why.
So give me another team with the same Vikings odds.
No.
What other teams you got? You said six, so you got four more.
No, I got three NFC and then 3 AFC.
Okay.
Teams. The only other team I got in the NFC is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And they're 9-3 on the year.
Yeah.
They're 7-1.
Yeah.
7-1. So I mean, I don't know. Like those teams really interested me because between those three teams, I don't see a difference.
Look, Dak Prescott has not proven it, and it's hard for me to make a clear, concise, non-objective opinion on the Cowboys because I have to hate them literally because I'm a 49ers fan. And that defense is dominant though, man. I give it up. I'll give credit where credit's due. Micah Parsons, outside of Nick Bosa, he's one of the best defensive players out there to me, and they may be the same guy. You know what I mean? But he plays a different position. He plays linebacker, so he gets more interceptions, and he's a blitzing linebacker. Bosa's doing it from the defensive end position. It's much harder anyway, that defense is great, but I don't think they've been tested offensive.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was kind of looking at it. I was like,
what's the odds on the Cowboys?
7-1.
That is low.
Yeah, those. But I mean, if you're gonna bet it,
here's the only thing I'll say: I would rather bet the Cowboys than I would the other two teams, just because I know that defense is in the top 4 in the league. Gotcha. I'd say top 4. Probably should, the way they've been playing, probably top 2. I mean, they're absolutely elite. Micah Parsons is an absolute monster at his position. As bad as I hate to give the Cowboys credit for anything, I've just seen Dak not get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's injury prone too.
But man, Tony Pollard, I mean, he ought to be. I mean, to me, he's better than Zeke right now. I mean, and Zeke is good. He's just got a lot of wear on the tires.
So we got like 3-4 weeks left in the regular season, I think.
And I'm just gonna bring it up because you didn't, and that's cool. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's cool. If my boy Jimmy G had not gotten hurt.
Dude, y'all got a comeback story just waiting.
I know.
The book's already written. All you gotta do is sign it.
I wish Kyle Shanahan would have the 1 year where he doesn't have the really, really bad injury. I mean, I know we made the Super Bowl, but we had like 2 dudes out even in that game, and boy, if they'd have just called 1 or 2 holds again, I mean, you could call holding against Nick Bosa literally on every play. They can't stop him. Offensive linemen cannot stop that kid. He is incredible. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that as a 49ers fan. I mean, go out there and look and just watch the film. See what they did. See what that defense did to the Dolphins' high-flying offense this weekend.
Yeah, the 49ers right now are all over the place as far as the futures market go for the NFL, the Super Bowl. It's anywhere from 9-1.
Go ahead. I'm dead on the camera.
Franklin's not a cat, by the way. He's not a cat.
I look much better than that cat that's wiggling his tail there.
So if you can get them at 12-1 on BetMGM, and you can get them at 9-1 on Caesars, which is the site we use.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, would you take them at 9-1 versus the Cowboys at 7-1? I would.
The 49ers?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just as I know what they've done in the playoffs. They came within a last-minute drive last year of replacing the Rams in the Super Bowl against Cincinnati.
And you're sitting there with a 6-6 Buccaneers team leading their division that will be in the playoffs.
Right.
You have to worry about.
Look, the one thing I like is that hopefully the 49ers can actually, if they just stay, if they can keep it afloat with the defense with Brock Purdy at quarterback, if they got to win their division, because I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to catch the Eagles. So that pushes the Cowboys down to the 5 seed. Yeah. And maybe at some point we can avoid that, because with this rookie quarterback, I don't know that we could beat the Cowboys' defense. Yeah, now, I love Christian McCaffrey. The boy's balling, and Ayuk and Deebo Samuel is an absolute dude. I don't know what you call. He's just a dude on offense.
He's not bad. Oh,
my camera's terrible. Go to the AFC. Yeah, talk about somebody. I can't. I'm not.
He's a cat.
I'm a cat again. This is ridiculous.
All right, so the Bengals. The Bengals are 8-4 in the year. Really good football team. 12-1, made the Super Bowl last year. You can get them at 12-1 right now. Versus the Chiefs, who are 9-3, and you can get them at 4.5-1. Versus the Bills, who are favored.
Yeah.
There's not that much difference between these three teams for me. So if I was going to go bet a futures bet on this, I'd go get me some of them Bengals at 12-1.
Oh, look, I told you earlier, if any team is coming to their own right now, it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
They look better than any team I've seen recently. They're coming off a game of beating the Bengals. Joe Burrow is an absolute dude. Jamar Chase is back. He made his presence felt against the Chiefs. So yeah, I don't. I can't believe. Yeah, the Bengals. They made the Super Bowl last year, and they started off on a slow start. They're 8-4 on the year, but they get the Browns this weekend, and they're playing at home. I just I don't know. You can't count out the Bengals. I know the Bills and the Chiefs are probably in everybody's mind, and probably a little Dolphins. I mean, they can. I know they got beat down by the 49ers, but first time that Tua has been pressured the way that he was pressured. And I don't know if they have that kind of defense in the AFC. The Bills have some, but they lost Von Miller. The Chiefs are always been a okay defense. I think that's the best word you could use for the Chiefs is okay. But I don't know if you say that they're good. So I think the AFC, even though everybody thought that it was just Chiefs and Bills, I think it's pretty open now the way that you see that the Bengals are playing.
There's so much parity in the NFL right now because there's none like a. I mean, there was a lot of Bills talk earlier this year, but
they have not done well lately.
Are you still a cat?
I'm still a cat.
Dadgummit.
I know there's something wrong with my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, you got the Buccaneers 6-6. The Seahawks ain't. I mean, the Seahawks have been okay, but they're better than I thought they were.
Oh, hey, yeah. Geno Smith has been a revelation, has he not? I mean,
how about that NFC
goodness.
East though? The Giants and the Commanders 7-5 or 7-4 respectively.
Yeah, the Giants have been much better than I thought they would be. I mean, it's a lot going on. I don't know.
Hey, he's upside down. He's not a cat, but he's upside down.
I'm trying to use a new phone. I'm using a different phone. That old phone is not getting it done.
Welcome back, Frankie J.
Well, I'm trying. Now we're upside down. This phone is heavier. I mean, it's just a lot of. This podcast. This is awful. Just awful.
One day we're gonna get a manager.
Well, one day we'll just have cameras where we don't have to worry about all the nonsense.
Looking for sponsorships.
We're just going to do it like that. I know my sign looks stupid and I can see you in the corner and everything. It's just all messed up. It's just so bad.
Good Lord, what a shit show.
Isn't it bad? Look at that. That's better, right? Now you get, all right, so we're there.
All right, nothing happened. Nothing
this old phone's got to go.
But no, that's kind of what I want. I want to just, I mean, I was looking at those future markets because now's the time. If you're going to go bet a team for the Super Bowl, just do it now. Don't wait till the friggin' Super Bowl and be like, I'm going to lay $1 billion.
Well, if I'm going to take one of those three teams, it's going to be the Bengals, right? They got better odds,
that's
right?
what I like.
I'm with you, absolutely. And
even though I'm going to bet against them Sunday, but
hey, Joe Burrow's been good to us in college and in NFL. Last year, I think in the playoffs, we kind of went with Joe Burrow there just because we knew the kid's got moxie. He can play.
I was so glad.
It's not just about moxie; the kid's talented.
Well, the NFL finally went away from like just recycling the same old dead ass coaches all the time. You know what I mean? They were. Yeah. I mean, how many times we got to see old Rex Ryan get a damn head coaching job? I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of what I had on my notes. I just you on that college basketball. If you want to bet it, and there's so much opportunity there. There's so many games. You just got to find them. You just got to find them.
So many. But that can also be a problem. Don't bet them all.
Oh, come on now.
For crying out loud, whatever you do.
42 team parlay, dead at 10 o'clock in the morning. Darn it.
I think I got too many browsers going on. I think it's a problem. All right, so let's get into this weekend NFL. You talked about the futures market. Let's get into this weekend of the NFL.
You want to hear it?
I want to hear what you got. Let's go.
I got the Chief Broncos under 43.
I like it.
I'm riding with the Broncos defense.
Might as well just stay with it. They've been elite. Boy, if they had an offense, my God, they would be tough.
You know, if they would just spend some money on a damn quarterback.
They'd go out and get a quarterback. Ridiculous.
Sorry.
I've never liked Russ Wilson anyway because he played for the Seahawks. So.
That's funny. So I got that. That's going to be my first bet I make this weekend for. And I'm also going to bet the Army game, but I have no notes. I'm going to bet Army.
He's got Paul. Tell him why you're going to bet Army.
Because I was in the Army.
You were in the Army. I mean, there you go. I mean,
yeah, happy Pearl Harbor Day. That's not a happy day. Wait a minute. Let me take that back.
It's not a happy. Yeah, it's not a happy day. Today is Pearl Harbor Day, but if you're listening to this, we recorded it the day on the 7th. But yes, it's Pearl Harbor Day.
Is the day that live in infamy.
So yeah, tune in. 2:30 Saturday.
Yep.
Army Navy.
Greatest game of the year.
Just a wonderful spectacle. Just watch it. Just watch from the very beginning. Don't wait for the game to start. Watch all the pomp and circumstance before. It's incredible. Yeah. And like Paul, you and I mentioned, it's a bucket. We're going.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Anybody want to help out? Just
we're gonna
change in the bucket.
We're absolutely gonna go one day. We're gonna go make that trip.
All right, so don't shoot me, okay?
Oh boy, here we go. Taking the Buccaneers.
No, I got the Niners minus 3.5.
I got them on my notes right there at 3.5, and let me tell you why. No, you tell me why first.
I don't think Purdy can get it done. I think Purdy's not. You think he's fine. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll get a steady.
You think he can get it done?
No, he can get it done. I think he's fine. I think you get a steady dose of McCaffrey, and then you get a steady dose of the Kittle and then
Debo.
and Debo and give it to Juice about 4 times.
Dude, I love Juice. I love that kid. He can play. They showed a picture of his finger on the X-rays, and his one finger's got 8 screws in it, yeah. And he's getting it done as a fullback. There.
The Bucks played Monday night. They got to get on the fucking plane. They got to fly across the country. I think
they got to go to Santa Clara. That's right.
I think the Niners going to go out there and get this thing done by at least a touchdown.
It was the first game on my list, and let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
The Saints showed Tom Brady. I mean, every team this year showed that Tom Brady's old. I mean, Father Time is undefeated.
Yep.
Father Time has never lost in his career. He's a bazillion and oh.
Yep.
He finds you at some point. And the man is old. He's gotten divorced, and I don't know why he came back, but he did. And look, he ain't Saints got a decent defense. He ain't faced this defense. Nick Bosa is going to make Tom Brady's life a living hell. And this line would be 7.5 if Jimmy G was still the quarterback. I mean, the only reason it's 3.5 is because we're dropping down to Brock Purdy. But he looked fine. I mean, but you know what? That was the first game. You know how the second games go for rookies. That's what scares me.
Yeah, but he threw it 40-something times. It's not like they protected him.
And he threw some balls with guys in his face. He had confidence to make the throw. And I love that. Hey, trust your receivers. Throw it and trust your receivers to do it. And Debo and Ayuk and Kittle will get it done for you. And Shanahan's going to dial up McCaffrey all over that field.
Yeah.
I like the 49ers at home. I think they win by at least 6 or 7 points.
Yeah, it should be over a touchdown. That's just too much of a turnaround.
Well, like I said, it would be if it was Jimmy G at quarterback. They would just be getting that because he's got experience. This game would be a 7.5 point spread.
Yeah.
The defense is too good for the Buccaneers for Tom Brady to do anything.
All right. The other game I got. If you're ready to move on.
Yeah. I'm good. I mean, I could sit here and talk about I could give you all the San Francisco facts that you want to know. I mean, what do you want to know about?
I don't.
You want to know about Dre Greenlaw? You want to know about Fred Warner?
No.
You want to know about Tyler Noah?
I'm just glad you're not a damn cat no more.
Well, yeah. At least you can see my face.
All right, so the next
You
game,
just talk about your next game.
the next game I got is the Bengals and the Browns. It's
Now I'm not even there. I'm finally not a cat. Now I'm not there.
I don't know what we're gonna do with him. It's a damn debacle. All right, so I'm gonna take Cleveland plus 6 right now. I think that's where the line is. Let me look. Yes, plus 6 is a rivalry game. It's in Cincinnati. I get that. I know we're talking about Cincinnati winning the Super Bowl, but lately the Browns have owned the Bengals. They played in Week 8. Cleveland beat them 32-13. They won 5 out of the last 6. 8 of the last 9 games. Well, 9 of the last 10 games the Browns have won. So, I mean, they've owned Cincinnati. I get that we like them to win the Super Bowl, but when you got a team that just owns you like that, they're not going to be. I mean, nothing's going to change that.
Look, Mr. Massage has got to show me a lot more than what he did last weekend to take down the Bengals this weekend. But I'm not doing anything.
The Browns have beat them 9 of the last 10 times they played. And you're going to give me 6 points.
Okay.
I'm taking
really?
In a rivalry game. Taking it.
In Cincinnati.
Man, I've been to Cincinnati. It's not no damn. And they walk across the damn bridge. You walk across, get to the stadium's falling in. It's clean though. It's a clean place.
All right, fair enough.
Nobody worried about it. I went there and watched Corey Dillon run.
Second game I got on my list. You just talked about the Browns, Bengals. I got the Dolphins to bounce back in a huge way. I know they're headed over to San Diego, but
I get it.
Chargers just can't get it done. But Tua, my God, the announcers the other day, all they could talk about was, we've never seen Tua be so inaccurate. Well, there's a reason for that, dude. Well, the Chargers don't have that the 49ers have. And I think Ty Hill and well, I don't know that he's completely healthy. I think Jalen Waddle got a little dinged up in the 49ers game. They still got Trent Sherfield, and they got a couple of running backs there that 49ers let them have. But anyway, I think Tua and the boys can get it done there. I mean, high-scoring game probably, most likely. And I think it's only a 3-point game. I think the Dolphins can get that thing done.
51.
52 is what I see.
51, okay. Well, that's some.
But I think there'll be some points. Maybe an over to look at there.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on the Dolphins in the over. Doesn't mean anything.
Maybe not then.
Well, it's only Wednesday, so the NFL's a lot harder because that thing will flip in a heartbeat.
It will. All right, who you got next?
That's the only 3 picks I had this week in NFL. I'll bet. I like the Steelers this week because I think that they're finally getting it figured out. Defense is getting better. Kenny Pickett's actually telling the coach to go flip off. If they don't fire that cat at the end of this year, I'm gonna write a strongly worded email.
Man, Matt Canada's got to go. I'm not even a Steelers fan, but my wife is, and you are, and I'm kind of on your side there on the Matt Canada thing. I think what is Tomlin? Tomlin's a better coach than that to let that guy still be the coordinator.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
He must practice really well. Like,
he's a practice coach.
He must dial them some bitches up. All right, we're gonna get the defense off the field for this next one. All right, we're gonna practice. This is gonna be a good play. Watch this.
I had on my list that I kind of like the Steelers, even though they're laying 2.5, and I know why, because Lamar Jackson's going to be out in this game. You got Huntley coming in for the Ravens, and so I don't know. The other game I have is I've got the Jets traveling to Buffalo. They ain't got to travel far. I mean, they're still in New York. New York Jets take on the Buffalo Bills, and they're catching 9.5 points. The Jets have been much better, and the Bills have looked mortal as of late.
Yeah.
So I think 9.5 is in an NFL game is just too much. I think the Jets can do enough offensively to score some points, and that defense is really good. My boy Robert Saleh's moved on over there, and he's done a really good job on the defensive side. Now, his total package as far as all the coaching is concerned, he made some great job against the Vikings.
Well, he made a good call putting White in there, I think.
Oh, Michael White's been, that's the only reason I trust the offense now. Mike White is moving the ball around and getting it done offensively. But yeah, he just needs to be better late in games, coaching decisions, clock decisions. But yeah, I love the Jets catching 9.5 on the road.
They beat them
at Buffalo.
2017, week 8.
Yeah,
Week
so
9.
I like it.
Man, I don't hate that.
Here's one that I'm confused about as hell. So you got to give me some direction here, Paul.
I'll try. Oh, you gonna talk about the Minnesota Vikings?
The Minnesota Vikings.
I can't help you. I don't get it.
The Minnesota Vikings travel to the 5-7 Detroit Lions.
I got no idea.
The Detroit Lions currently are 2.5-point favorite.
I don't know.
I don't know how you take look. I love watching the Lions play. Don't get me wrong.
No,
Jared Goff has kind of rekindled his career, kind of like Geno Smith has done over in Seattle. Amon St. Brown is a stud wide receiver. They can score. Jamal Williams, anytime they get inside the 5, Jamal Williams is scoring a touchdown. I mean, they're good offensively, but man, they're going to be in a dome. I mean, they're not outside. It's not a primetime game, so you're going to get probably good Kirk Cousins. Do you just you just take the Vikings plus 2.5 here? How do you lay 2.5 with the Lions at home?
I have no idea.
That is a trap game, is it not?
Something's fishy.
Maybe you just take the Lions at 2.5 because it looks stupid.
I mean, that's where I was earlier.
Right? You just take it because it's a dumb line.
You know what it'll be. I mean, the damn Lions will win by like 1 point.
Oh yeah, so everybody loses. Oh man, yeah, I don't know what to do with the game. I just wanted to bring it up, just see what your thoughts were on that one.
Really though, if you're sitting at a betting kiosk or a betting window, and you got the choice between taking the Vikings plus 2.5 or taking them straight up. You're probably gonna take them straight up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And if you're gonna Lions go out there and win by 1, everybody's.
So everybody's saying this line is stupid. I'm gonna take the Lions minus 2.5, and everybody else that says I'm falling for the trap. I'm taking the Vikings to win because they're gonna win. So yeah, the Lions win 27-26, and Vegas just swept
back. Yeah,
what's the duck that jumps into the
go? Yeah, Scrooge big duck.
He's jumping into his money. I had one more NFL game, and this will absolutely show you that when it comes to betting, your allegiances and your anger towards teams and how you hate them is out the window.
All right, send it.
I love Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks at home against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are going from Carolina all the way to Seattle, and Geno Smith has been really, really good. I know they had to battle to beat the Rams, but that's a divisional game. This is not a divisional game, and Carolina is traveling all the way across, and that team's in disarray.
Yeah.
So, and it's only 3.5. So, yeah, I'm laying the 3.5 with Seattle at home against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet it, but I get why you would if you wanted to bet that.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Did I say anything that I just don't? DK
wrong.
Metcalf has been a beast over there. Tyler Lockett. They have two really, really talented wide receivers in Lockett and Metcalf. And Geno Smith is the only thing that I don't like is that Kenneth Walker's a little banged up, and that's going to hurt him not to be able to run the football. And I've loved that kid. Kenneth Walker's had a great year.
Also, look at the weather in some of these, especially the Northeast and the West Coast, the Northwest, Northeast. Because that wind and rain makes a difference in these games.
Yeah. All right. So we're kind of running out of time, but I want to bring this up because I know you probably have thoughts, or I don't know if you've looked at it. Saturday night, UFC 282.
Why that's they made it a damn pay-per-view and all. Yeah.
It's not the card's bad. I'm not paying for it. I don't think. But you know what happens? We always say, you know what? Let's just buy the fight.
I'll pay for it.
The card is bad. I only want to see really 2 fights, and that is the
Paddy the Baddy.
Paddy the Baddy. Paddy Pimblett is he's minus 260, but man, is he fun to watch. And they're the what? Co-main, I mean not co-main, but they're right before the main event.
I don't know where that card. I mean that card has gotten all kind of screwed up.
Yeah, I think they fight right before the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Between what is it? Blachowicz?
One of them beat Israel Adesanya. You remember
one of these two dudes?
I think it was Jan Blachowicz. Maybe he kept tackling him and holding him down.
I don't know.
I think so.
And then this Duplessis, he takes on Darren Till. Duplessis has been pretty good. I've actually bet on him. He's 17-2.
Yeah.
He is the favorite. I get it, but it's a slight favorite over Darren Till. He's just
Till hadn't done nothing. He's been hurt, injured. I know he's been trading with Kaz Matt and the whole bit. But
yeah, but I like Duplessis in that fight. And then of course I like Patty just to go out there and do his thing. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's just fun to fight. The main event gives me no. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of times we'll buy the fight, even if it's a bad card. We'll buy the fight for the final fight because it's worth it. But this one, it's not very good. You got to do better. I don't know why that's pay per view.
I don't even know who that Ankalaev live. I'm sure he's great. I just don't know. I don't know.
Look, outside of Patty and Duplessis, the other fight I want to see is Rosenstruck and Chris Dawkins. I mean, that ought to be a fun fight.
Yeah, it probably won't last long.
I mean, but I like the fight. I mean, I have no idea where to go there. Rosenstruck is the favorite, but I've seen Chris Dawkins do good things. He's a plus 145. And I'll give you a tip about some things I've been doing on MMA. Watch your over-unders on rounds, okay? And this is the one thing and I'm just telling you, it's a trend for me. I don't know if it's a trend for anybody else out there. It's a trend for me. I'll check the over-unders, okay? If it's, and of course, in a 3-round fight, a lot of times it's 2.5, but sometimes you can get it at 1.5. And in a 5-round fight, you can maybe get it 2.5, 3.5, and a lot of times it's 4.5. But if the over is plus 145 or less, but you want to get plus money. Don't look at anything minus money. If the over is plus 110 to plus 150, gamble on the over because they're not real sure. That money is telling you that they're not sure if this is going to go under and over. And a lot of times in these fight, Pauls, you know what they do? They fill each other out a few rounds. But I've hit at least 6 of my last 7 on the overs that were plus 110 to plus 150.
No.
You know, I mean, take your shot on the extra money, right?
Yeah.
And I've always parlayed it in. I'll take a favorite, like give me Patty, and then give me the over-under on one of these fights as opposed to that they think is going to go under because it'll be minus money on the under, but it'll be plus 140 on the over. I'll parlay that in with the plus 140 and take Patty and maybe take Duplessis because I love him against Darren Till.
The level of competition between these two is not even close. I mean, the guy beat
and Duplessis. Are you talking about the main event?
I was looking at that.
Blachowicz and
the Ankalaev guy. He beat Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Nikola Krylov. I mean, like it's some decent guys like gatekeepers, whatever. But Blachowicz, he's fought everybody.
Yeah, and he averages a takedown per 1.08 takedown is his average per round.
He's 4-1,
and his takedown accuracy is over 50%.
Yeah, he's 4-1 his last 5. The only loss he has is to Glover or
Teixeira.
Yeah,
and so just look for Jan to take him down early and often, because the other guy's only at 33%, so he's not a takedown guy. So if Jan can get him on the ground, I think he's got a really good shot there. But and as the underdog, he's a plus 240 underdog.
I don't understand it. All right, yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm
sure. So there you go.
I'm sure I'll be betting some of the fights. I don't know.
So you got plenty. You know what to look for in the college basketball. We gave you some numbers to look at there, and what to do, and how to kind of maneuver yourself around. We haven't touched over and unders on basketball, but those, man, look, those are tough. You never know if a college team's going to come out and hit buckets or not. You can look at a team that's averaging 80 points a game, and then they'll shoot 30% from the field and score 60 against a team. But look at the Ken Palm. Those are good weight. That's a good number. Anything else that you mentioned about basketball in the Ken Palm there, Paul?
No, just use the Vegas Insider stuff. It's like you would the college football and the Action Network, and then there's a few other sites you can go to, but I mean, just use it as content. Don't use it as guidance.
And we gave you our thoughts on the NFL, and that's kind of where we are. And we watch all the football. Look, I've got the Sunday ticket. I watch it. I watch all the games. And of course, I'm always dialed into the 49ers, but I'm always flipping back and forth, watching the other teams. And we watch a good bit of MMA. We get a lot of the fights on Saturdays. So look for Patty Pimlet, Patty the Baddie there
Patty
Saturday
the
night.
Baddie.
Look for what's this? I don't know this Dricus Duplessis. I really like him against Darren Till Saturday night. And like I said, look for those over-unders on those
Bryce
fight rounds.
Mitchell is from Arkansas, by the way.
That's right. We saw him fight before.
Mm-hmm.
But watch your over-unders in those fights. And like I said, if you can get an over at plus 130, plus 140, I like it a lot. So I hope we get to announce we're doing trivia again sometime. I don't know if anybody really wants to watch that, but anybody that watching us now that's local that wants to come out and see us do trivia, we're going to get in the rotation.
Yeah,
right?
not one sports question was asked.
Not one. We got all the information up in these heads. So look, I guess that's it. We're going to close it there. For Poolside Bets and Cash and Tickets, I'm Franklin. That's Paul. We will be with you again next week, and tune in, and we'll let you know how the week goes, and hopefully everybody has a good weekend, and let's cash those tickets. We'll see you next time.